mentoring, coaching. I help organizations and individuals improve performance. I can usually be found at the intersection of strategy and product development.
And I'm so excited to be talking to you because we had the conversation previously, and there are so many opportunities that are missed by the HR people. So today we will be talking about how understanding business strategy will win you a seat at the table. And why would we want to win a seat at the table?
Is that a question I can maybe answer?
Sure.
Because you want to. There are three things that motivate everyone. These are, of course, autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy means you get to decide when to do and how to do it. Mastery is you become better at it. You go from one game level to the next, day in, day out. And then there's a purpose. This means that you may have a bigger impact. So no one can ever force you from your current role to become more of a value-adding person. But it is possible if you choose to do so. And there's very little risk to it because you can always go back to the way you always were.
That sounds very interesting. So tell me about the clients that you have worked with.
Telcos, who haven't I worked with? I'm more of a generalist in the sense that I work with smaller companies, larger organizations. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Where I think I can add value and the others agree, that's where a lot of this music is made.
Sure. And when we talk about HR business partners, what are the skills that HR professionals should develop?
They should, HR business and partner. Well, maybe they should probably learn more about the business part. Let me tell you a story from my days at college. An IBM guy visited us and told us 3 points. 3 points. Number one is that IT, I studied IT management. IT is the wave of the future. No company can be without IT in the future. It's becoming more and more important. In the US, in leading companies, people, CIOs, CTOs are already behind the table, and soon enough, it will trickle down to us and it will be the same here. A couple of years went by, I heard the same thing about marketing. Marketing is the future. Without marketing, there can be no companies, no businesses. So marketing leaders already have a seat at the table at leading US companies. And soon, it will happen to marketing people. A couple more years go by and HR people tell me the same thing. HR is the future. Everything revolves around humans. Technology changes, but humans will always be humans. Therefore, in leading American companies, HR people are already behind the table. They have a seat at the table, and soon, it will trickle down to us. I later found out that everyone's welcome at the table who can add value. It doesn't matter which role you come from. There are two types of functions in any organization. There are leading functions, which you can evaluate through profit and loss. And then there are support functions, which you can evaluate through responsiveness. How responsive are they to the business needs? These are areas such as HR, IT, legal, procurement, many other such parts that everyone specifically doesn't need, but those are sort of company-wide. And if you sit in a support or staff function, you are at least one level removed from the actual business or from the customer. And put yourself in the shoes of let's say your laptop crashes and you go talk to another support person, an IT person, and you don't understand what they say. They speak their own language and lingo about DRM and MDD and HDD and megahertz. What? You just want this thing to work and to solve that problem. The same thing is about every support function. They have their own lingo and their own ideas sort of take over. They go to too much of their own functions, conferences, start smoking that sweet tobacco that they sell there. And suddenly it's all about whatever they say that should be the future this way or that way. So I encourage everyone to put themselves in the shoes of the business people and to understand more of the business, moving closer to the part. So this would be the partnering part. Those skills would be, let's say, the strategy, who are our customers, what type of portfolio do we have to solve those problems, what's our value proposition, what channels do we use to reach them, so on and so forth. And then a lot of the other things that make executives tick, such as finance, operations, other issues such as that.
So what would be the best way for HR people to learn about strategy then?
In case it matters, I'm not saying it does. Not all companies are alike. A university and a shoe factory both have strategies, but one does basic research where you cannot really predict what's going to happen. It's more of a dynamic environment. And in a shoe factory, it's mostly about operational issues. There isn't a lot of transformation going on from here to there. So when I've helped other HR professionals, I'm based here in Estonia, and there's a local HR association. I talked with them. I did a workshop for future HR leaders. And one of them was not a shoe factory, but a cheese factory. So they didn't have a lot of strategic issues. For them, the word strategy simply meant long-term plan. But there were no changes in their business model. They weren't finding new types of customers or going to new markets in some innovative ways. They said there's very little changes in that. So what they call strategy is probably a long-term plan and executing on that. Whereas if it's a technology company that has a lot of leeway, that what part of the value chain do we operate at, who are our current and who are our future customers, what type of competencies do we need to build for the future. So there's a lot of changes going on. Once again, what was the excellent question that put me on a long rant?
Well, we have other questions coming up from people who are joining us. Let me take the comments here. We have my friend Jeff Young joining us from the US. I was lucky enough to work for a company that treated HR as a strategic partner. What a difference it made. Namaste. And I think he's talking about one of the big four companies, so consultancies. How have you worked with consultancies as well, with services companies?
Yes, I have.
And how is it different there from companies that produce goods?
Well, it all begins with the leadership. Who are the leaders of a specific organization? You can have a well-run company, being in small, big, or whatever area, or a not so well-run company. If it is well-run, it's really easy to support because everyone knows what the mission is, what we're trying to achieve, who we're trying to win, and how we judge success. That treated HR like a strategic partner. Okay. Usually, if it happens, it happens. But then I would advocate for more agency, that you become a strategic partner. You shouldn't wait simply. And maybe if I could answer the question, how to become more of a strategic partner, is to ask the question, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? By the second or third why questions, people get tired. It's like, oh, come on, I don't have time to explain this to you. Dear HR, please go find something better to do with your time, and sort of might fail. So instead, what any support function can always do, be it IT, HR, legal, is this what we're trying to achieve? So you draw up a business model canvas in case it isn't there, or if it's a long document of what we're about to achieve, long plans and values, and many other those issues. Just do a business model canvas. Alexander Osterwalder and another person made that happen. So it's simply it's from the startup world, where you're trying to find product market fit, because those things keep changing and you have different building blocks in a business model canvas. So have a discussion with them. Is this what we're trying to achieve? Why are we going that way? Why are we going this way? What are you trying to achieve here? So offer them that, and then offer them options that we can do it this way, we can do it that way. You can. I read last week that a lawyer who can understand the business and work with you is worth his or her weight in gold. Instead, waiting, I don't want any of that. Just tell me what you want so that you take all the responsibility. I'm going to check all the boxes, and no, don't disturb me. But someone who's able to understand what it is they're trying to achieve, they will add a lot of value and become a, let's say, strategic, in air quotes, partner.
Yeah, and what you said is really about being proactive and not wait to be invited to the seat. And Jeff says, great point, Hanno. Removing the silo philosophy can help increase company-wide communications. Have you worked with that part as well?
That part? Which part?
The communication between the different silos in the company.
Yes. Now, if I would work with the Estonian Foreign Intelligence Agency, there they have silos for a point and for a reason. You cannot simply say silos bad, communication good. Depending on the context, it might make sense, might not make sense. Usually it does. There are cultural differences also in national cultures. Some are more flat, others are more of a triangle, big chief at the top. Help company-wide communications. Okay, company has excellent alignment, not a business outcome, has fantastic communications, not a business outcome, but goes out of business. So the CEO can write on the company's obituary that we achieved fantastic alignment. We achieved something, these fantastic communications. Nobody cares. Your customers don't care about that. These might be things to strive for to reach a business goal. So one of the bad practices of all support structures is that they come up with their own, let's say, strategy or logic or something like that. Support functions don't have strategies. Does your left leg have a strategy? If it does, it's time to go see a doctor. A leading function might have a strategy, but the support function is supposed to follow along. If some sort of communications needs to happen, fantastic, but everything should be rooted in business strategy. We're on a cruise ship, we're trying to sail from Los Angeles to Puerto Vallarta. So I don't have my own strategy in the restaurant. I'm trying to make sure that these types of customers are happy here on the ship. Same thing here with removing silos and all of that stuff. If it doesn't impact any of the business, it's pointless. There's a big risk in coming up with your own or our own bureaucratic processes that we need to follow because of X, Y, and Z. Someone's more comfortable that way. We want to win an award. I like it that way. We've always used to do it that way. I used to work at a company that did it this way. The fancy, sexy companies in FANG are currently doing it that way. We should also do it that way. We have a software that supports we do it that way, or whatever it is. Unless it's rooted in a business outcome, or has to do with some sort of compliance issue, it's pointless at best.
We have another comment linking to the strategy of the left leg. Understanding others and walking together is true key. So that's well said as well. And we have John Isbirian joining us from the UK. I see simultaneous siblings. Yes, you do. Thanks for joining us. I have a cup that Hanno made for me 20 years ago. So let us continue with the questions I have prepared. Let me see. What about this? How aligning HR with business strategy amplifies organizational impact?
Okay, so let's look at the customer journey of HR. Let's just say there are 3 stages. Number 1 is acquisition. We're trying to locate, find the right talent. Second is to develop that talent, and then to retain, like retention, make sure they stick around and tell everyone else. These are issues we need to do. But then now we need to understand what businesses and when need to be staffed up with whom. Let's look at the acquisition here. How good are we? How responsive are we to the business so that they can really do their work? So it's not simply that we can. It is good enough, of course, to say that we were able to acquire talent in time. We were able to find the best type of talent. And if not, then what should we do in order to improve our ability to acquire talent so that business can do what it needs to do? And the development part, a lot of, or a bad practice always is that every question is a training question, or every issue is a training issue. Let me put people in workshops, let me educate them. It's sort of, I want to do that immediately. And if a person, the test is this, under the threat of violence, can the person perform the task? If they can, it's not a skills issue. It's a management issue. They can, but they won't. If they cannot, you'd have to shoot them. Then, of course, it is a skills issue. And then, of course, there's a huge training industry that would like to come and offer cookie cutter recipes to all of their problems. You have an issue with team spirit. We have a team spirit training. You have an issue with motivation. We have the motivational training for you, and your peers loved it, and this, so on and so forth. They're making sure that people are skilled enough. Usually has to do with other systems of skills transfer within the company, and building up those capabilities is slightly different than just getting people's passports stamped that we attended training X, Y, or Z. And then retention, so on and so forth. I don't want to go on too long. Well, but making sure that it's business related. It's like your secretary doesn't get to decide who enters the building. If the person is invited, they have to enter. And the secretary will not get a bonus for saving money on snacks and coffee. Hey, I bought some cheaper coffee to the guests. No. Make sure that people are well received when they enter the building. These are the things. Or purchasing doesn't get a bonus for finding cheaper components so that the whole device breaks down. They say, but we saved money, the customers are unhappy. So this is the way how you link your business outcomes to HR initiatives or any other support type of initiative.
I really love to stay on the HR part about those concepts, how they translate into HR practices and decisions. Like we said, it's a support function in general. How would you go with it? Yeah.
Okay, I would. Well, it's kind of hard to put the sun chairs in order on the Titanic and to get more meaning and impact out of it, or to be the HR leader in Kodak when they finally understand that, oops, we should have some electronics engineers in this house, but somehow they're only chemists, left, right, and center. No one told us that. So how can we sort of support it? It has to do, of course, business is responsible for it, and they get to decide whether the ship sails to Puerto Vallarta or it goes to Veracruz. So it's you can support whatever you want. You can do it to your best abilities, but it won't sort of you won't be in the position to sort of save the company. And the question was how to translate those things. So you can support them by saying, of course, that the trends are showing this way or that way. That the future's you're meeting with the CTO and understanding that. Tell me, what types of developers are you looking for 2-3 years down the line? What types of technologies are we planning to use? At what skill levels do we want to have those people? What's the mix of in-office work and remote work? What are your plans on that? How can we prepare for it? How does our current structure of talents match up with where we plan to be in a year, 2 or 3? If it's turbulent times, these issues need to be dealt with rapidly, but those turbulent times are becoming more and more the norm, that the crisis situations. So your ability to move on a dime and suddenly make rapid changes are really important. For example, we have a hard time attracting talent because of our physical location and our inability to have out of office or remote work. Then what should we change in our branding and in our approach to make us more attractive to a future cadre of people? What type of people would someone want to work for? Maybe we should have a few superstars who can recruit others. Why would they want to come here? So that we can offer them different types of opportunities for quicker development. Why would they want to join our company this way and that way? So understanding how I can help the business side reach its goals. What are we missing from this desired future? If the desired future is unclear and you're simply doing the day-to-day transactional work, then it's hard. But to become more of a strategic partner, you would need to walk up to the captain's ship. Tell me where we're going. What's different from the picture of the future from where we are today, and how can I help you bridge that gap?
Yep, that's exactly where you should have your eyes. Let me see. We have another question. So Hanno, what advice do you have for professionals who are more relationship oriented but may struggle with a more analytical aspect of business strategy?
Stay out of the analytics. Maybe it's quantitative and qualitative issues. There's a lot of data behind this and that. Don't care about the data. If you're walking into, I've never done it, but I've heard that if you walk to a Savile Row tailors, they will ask you, where will Sir be wearing the suit? And from there, they understand what type of cloth you need, what type of cut you're going to use, and all of that, what type of fit, linen, wool, heavy wool, what type of color. So all of that. I don't care. Fill out this simple little business model canvas and say, is this what we're trying to achieve? These are the risks we're trying to decrease. These are the markets. These are so on and so forth. How can I help you achieve that? So the analytical aspects, I really don't care. The relationship aspects, I do care about very much so. So 2 things to take away from today. One is business model canvas. And the second would be any type of 4th generation sales management approach. Sandler, strategic sales, solution sales, Challenger, many of those, because you want to map out who are the people making the decisions in the boardroom and what are their interests. What are they motivated by? What are they hoping to achieve so that you can support them best? They have different areas of expertise and different types of needs. So this relationship orientation is a key skill of yours that you can lean on. And I'm personally preferential to, or my own preference is towards strategic sales, and that's Miller and Hyman who does it, and they have an approach called Blue Sheet, where they basically map out all types of decision makers and put them in 4 categories. What are their personal wins that they're hoping to achieve? What's their motivation? And what would be their personal wins from getting there? This would help you become more effective.
That's true.
And the things I'm saying right now is 99% the same for people in IT, in legal, in purchasing, whatever support function. Doesn't really matter. You need to understand what it is we're trying to achieve, who are trying to achieve it, how do they measure success, so that I can set up my own measurements to mirror those of theirs. If I speak the language of business, they will take me seriously. If they see that they can get their problems solved, I am a partner to them. I speak their language, not my own little buzzwords and lingo. They'll be happy to extend a seat at the table.
Exactly. Get out of your own box and become a part of the strategy, which will have a personal impact on your life as well. And the question was from Christina Lambermont from Belgium, and Jeff Young is very helpful. Because her name was gray and her profile was not visible to our LinkedIn users, we couldn't see her name. So Jeff is helping her how to fix that visibility thing, so that you can network with other people during the live. So Hanno, before we go, what are the last takeaways that you would like people to remember?
If you're able to add value to the conversations of the people that you see, they will always be happy to have you there. Otherwise, HR can be used as any support function. HR stands for hopelessly removed. There are other acronyms as well, but it simply has to do with people's own volition, that they don't want to. They want to stick true to what they've been taught, what they've learned, what's comfortable. If you go to that room and they talk about financial measures you do not understand, hey, it's a skills issue. You can build skills. Nothing wrong with that. The 3 classical roles for HR are: number 1 is compliance, so that you stay compliant with government regulations. Number 2 is management Q&A. This is the business part I'm speaking of right now. And third is a moral arbiter, which has been really popular in the last couple of years. And anyone in that function can say that I have your career in my hands. I can nuke you forever, reasons of moral or social, and I have the law on my side. But that really is not much of a partner and won't give you much of an impact on your own or for yourself. So in order to have more autonomy and purpose, mastery, not autonomy, I would encourage everyone to understand more what it is we're trying to achieve here in this organization. How do we measure success, and how can I support that? And then the difficult part is to sort of have a distant look at everything you do in your support function. Sort of stay away from that part, but put yourself in the shoes of those other people. And how to get it practically, take more leadership roles inside the organization. Offer to lead a project. If your company doesn't offer that, join a volunteer organization. There are many volunteer organizations where you can offer to take a leadership role, so you get more practice at it. So you get away from a staff function and more into a line function.
Yep. So where can people find you?
My own website currently it only has a simple landing page. There's more stuff around on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn already, then you'll find something
people
more.
Should connect with you on LinkedIn on your personal profile, mention this conversation, and your website is jarvet.com. Mine is tiinajarvet.com, since Jarvet was already taken. So thank you so much for this conversation. I really enjoyed it. It was a dream come true. Thank you everyone who joined us, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.